Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a rough month, this month of January for us. We got a bit of COVID in the house just after we got back from Copmanhurst, and so we had 10-14 day at home, trying not to contaminate the whole household. The two kids didn't get any symptoms, but then Boaz got pretty crook afterwards. He's tested negative to COVID, even the antibodies, but he spent a couple of weeks in hospital with his condition, and he's going all right at the moment. We're just on some steroids. See how he goes, but that means I haven't had a chance to get out and get any footage. A few of the boys have been doing a bit of bushwork, so I've been doing a little bit of work on that gull wing, stuff like that, and in and out of hospital. So we haven't finished it completely, but we've got it to a stage where it's usable in lockup stage. Just got to put the gas strut on. I'm going to repaint the whole lot, whether we stick with the Amatone, color code it to the car, or we go black, I'm not sure yet. That's a discussion we're still having. Let us know what you reckon. Stick it in the comments. Here's a little bit of footage I've recorded earlier about the install of the dual battery DC to DC charger. It's an ITECH charger. It's not complete. The whole system's had another change of plans in the back end of the car, but we'll see how it goes. For now, it does work, and it's a great DC-DC charger. I think here to Copmanhurst, and the battery was chockers. It was pretty good. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy, and we'll try and get out on the tracks ASAP and get some more footage. Thanks, guys. Catch you later. Well, welcome to the channel, guys. Let's see how we go. Well, I got myself a DC-DC charger a little while ago, and I got to fit it into the Patrol. It's a mess in here at the moment. Got a lot of tidying up and a lot of work to do, but I'll share my install. Now, the Patrol came, when I bought it, with a red arc isolator and then power lead to the back end. I've modified that a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. But first, this here is the DC to DC charger I've got. It's an ITECH BCDC 40, which means it's the 40 amp ITECH charger. Has solar input. Comes with these awesome little plugs ready to go. You've got the red as your DC input straight from your main battery. Grey is your solar input, so you can plug your 12-volt solar panels into it, which I've got. And then your black is simply your output, which goes straight to your second battery. Comes with some prefabbed wires to connect up to your second setup. We've already got this wire here, so I've just got to put the red side plug onto it, which is my next job. So this wire was the wire that was in the car when I bought it. It ran from the engine bay through a red arc isolator and some circuit breakers, and ran on top of the chassis in some tube to protect it right through to the back end of the Patrol. Now I've now pulled it out and I've installed it in the cap. We've just got it running in the floor pan and coming in through underneath here through the firewall. It pops out down here in the firewall, and I've got the red coming back up here to some little circuit breakers that were here in the vehicle when I got it, and then this red wire on the top runs back across the firewall with the negative now, across the firewall to the other side, where I've installed a waterproof 50 amp circuit breaker, and that runs to the battery. The negative goes straight through and connects up to the battery. And yes, my wiring is a mess. I've pulled a lot of the old stuff out, and I've got a fair bit of work to do in the wiring side. But we're going to get this DC-DC working first, and then we'll tidy up the rest. Big disclaimer, guys, I am not a professional, so this is not professionally done. I'm just a bit of an amateur at this, but I'm following the instructions and adding a bit, because I like these little plugs. Big shout out to these, waterproof, the back end of your Anderson plugs. Also helps hold them together, but for this big cable, I've got to cut it down a little bit to get them both in there. And even then it's still a tight squeeze, which is why I like it. It's just too tight. So we're just going to tape it up with a bit of lecky tape, as we've got the plug on the back there to protect it. So just going to flood solder the connection on. So you heat up the connection, melt in a heap of solder, in you go, melting up. Probably should get the bigger blowtorch out for this, since it's a bit thicker, but this little fella should do the trick. Alright, that little fella wasn't heating it up quick enough, so let's get this big one onto it. We upgraded, we got a bit of wood here. Heat up that solder and try and get it melting. Because the wire is too big, we can't get it all in there, but it's close. Majority is in and the Ando is full. The Anderson terminal is full, so we're just gonna tape the rest onto the outside and then it should just fit into there. Let that one cool down though, and while that's cooling, let's do the other fella. Little blowtorch doesn't create enough heat and the big one creates way too much. Down. Let them cool right down and then we can tape them up. Normally you'd put some heat shrink over these, but I don't have heat shrink quite big enough. So I'm just going to nicely and tightly put some electrical tape over them. Let's see if we can get them in, or if it's too big. Might be too big. One in. Positive. Let's try the negative. He's a bit smaller and clicked in beautiful. So I just got a little bit of tape hanging out the back. And we'll pull our plug end up, which is nice and tight. Nearly got it on. It's very tight. Well, I think that's close enough to being on. Nicely sealed. Damaged that the other day, but it should still be fine. It's only going to be plugged in and left alone anyway. Awesome. So this is the dodgy setup I got at the moment. The towel's just sitting in there. Battery is strapped down. It's in a bracket that's mounted to the child restraint point, and the fridge is all strapped down in front of it. It works, but I'm getting no charge from the car, just running out to a solar panel. Either the King's one that I fold up on the roof, or when we got the rooftop tent on, she's got a nice big solid glass panel on top with an Anderson plug out to it. There she is, and she plugs into the 40 amp DC charger, and then I've got it running through the endo through another circuit breaker to the battery, and another plug for solar. And there she goes. Start the car up. Once the car reaches 13.2, I think it is, or 13 point something, she ignites and powers the unit, and then she's charging, and she'll go green when she's full, or if I put solar in, solar will overtake it. And you got the choice between lead acid, AGM, calcium and lithium, which would be lovely one day, and a total mess of wires. Hopefully this week we can get out in the bush and record some more footage of some different tracks. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright.